When you want her to come back, the first thing you have to understand is that nothing on the outside changes until you change what's going on inside. Your energy is your broadcast signal to the world. You may not see it. You may not even think about it, but every thought you have, every feeling you hold is sending out a frequency. And the truth is, people don't just respond to your words or your actions. They respond to your vibration. If your energy is low, full of sadness, resentment, or desperation, you're not creating the kind of field that draws someone in. You're creating a field that pushes them away. It's not about pretending to be happy. It's about genuinely lifting yourself to a higher place so that what you radiate becomes magnetic. You have to shift your energy before you expect anything else to shift. Most people, when they want someone to return, operate from a place of lack. They think about how much they miss them, how empty they feel, how badly they want things to be the way they were. But all that focus on what's missing is reinforcing more of the same. You're literally telling life, I don't have her, I'm incomplete. And that's the exact signal you're broadcasting. And because life responds to the energy you put out, it keeps giving you more of that emptiness. That's why you have to move away from lack and step into abundance. Even before she's back, you need to feel whole now, confident now, happy now. Not because you're tricking the universe, but because energy alignment always comes before physical manifestation. When you shift your inner state, something powerful happens. Your outer world starts rearranging itself to match it. Think about it. When you're in a great mood, when you feel alive, grateful, and confident, people know they want to be around you. Your presence becomes lighter, warmer, more inviting. The same is true for her. If she left when you were at a lower vibration, constantly stressed, overthinking, or unhappy, she's responding to that old frequency. But when you raise it, when you start living at a different energetic level, it's almost like you're becoming a new person in her eyes. And that new vibration will start pulling her back without you having to chase. Raising your energy doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means processing them, releasing them, and choosing thoughts that empower you instead of drain you. It's about becoming aware of the mental patterns that keep you stuck in the past and replacing them with patterns that point toward the future you want. This isn't about forcing yourself to feel good all the time. It's about consistently leaning toward better thoughts, better feeling, and actions that build momentum in a positive direction. Your mind is a tool. And the moment you start directing it toward what you desire instead of what you fear, your energy begins to rise naturally. One of the most effective ways to shift your vibration is gratitude. Not waiting for her to come back to feel grateful, but feeling grateful now for everything you already have. Gratitude pulls you into the present moment. It lifts your mood instantly, and it puts you in harmony with abundance. Another way is visualization. See yourself as the person you want to be, living the life you want to live in full detail. The more real you make in your mind, the more your body and emotions respond as if it's already real. That emotional response is your frequency rising, and that's what creates attraction. And let's be clear, energy is contagious. If you're carrying a heavy, anxious, or needy energy, the other person feels it, whether they're consciously aware of it or not. It's like walking into a room where two people have just been arguing. You can feel the tension without anyone saying a word. The same works in reverse. If you walk into a room with genuine joy, confidence, and peace, people feel that too. You don't have to convince them. They just sense it. This is why raising your energy is non-negotiable if you want her back. Because when your energy is high, she'll feel it even from a distance. You have to make the decision that your inner world is your responsibility. No one else can do the work for you. You can't wait for her to show up to feel good. You have to feel good so that she wants to show up. That's the paradox most people miss. They think, I'll be happy when she's here, but life works in the opposite way. It responds when you decide to be happy first. That happiness becomes the magnet. It's the reason she'll be curious, the reason she'll feel drawn to you again. So start with your thoughts. What are you thinking about most of the day? Are you dwelling on the pain? Are you replaying old arguments? Are you imagining her with someone else? Those thoughts lower your energy immediately. You need to catch them, stop them, and replace them with thoughts that make you feel strong, worthy, and abundant. It's a discipline, and at first it takes effort. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Your mind will start naturally leaning toward what empowers you instead of what weakens you. Your emotions follow your thoughts, and your actions follow your emotions. When you shift the root, your inner energy, you shift the chain reaction. You start moving differently, speaking differently, showing up differently. And all of that sends a new signal out into the world, a signal she can't ignore. This is how you get her attention without texting, without begging, without over-explaining. You let your energy do the talking. And when your energy is right, you won't even have to chase. She'll feel it and move toward it. Naturally, one of the biggest mistakes people make when they want someone back is holding on too tightly. That desperation, that constant need to check your phone, to wonder what she's doing, to overanalyze every silence is not helping you. In fact, it's doing the opposite. Neediness is an energy that repels. When you're desperate, you're communicating that you're not okay without her, that your happiness depends entirely on her presence. That puts pressure on the other person, and pressure pushes people away. The truth is, when you detach from desperation, you create space. And in that space, Attraction has a chance to grow again. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about not clinging. It's understanding that the tighter you grip, the more the thing you want slips through your fingers. Think about holding a handful of sand. If you squeeze too hard, it all falls out. But if you hold it gently, it stays. Relationships are the same way. You have to give them room to breathe. If she feels like you're suffocating her with constant texts, calls, and emotional demands, she's going to want to pull away even more. But if she feels your energy has shifted, if she senses you're at peace, that you're living your life fully, she'll be curious. She'll want to come closer, not out of obligation, but because she's drawn to your strength. When you detach from desperation, you take back your personal power. You stop waiting for her to validate you. You stop living in reaction to her decisions, her moods, her actions. You begin to live from a place of self-control and emotional balance. That's attractive because it shows you're whole on your own. It's not about pretending to be okay. It's about truly realizing that your worth doesn't come from another person's presence in your life. The more you realize this, the more magnetic you become. It's also important to understand that desperation creates an energy of fear. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of being alone. And fear is not a creative energy, it's a destructive one. When you operate from fear, your mind starts making poor decisions. You might say things you regret, act impulsively, or sabotage your own chances without realizing it. But when you operate from trust in yourself, trust in the timing, trust in the process, you act from a place of calm confidence. That confidence is exactly what allows things to fall into place naturally. Detaching also means you stop trying to control every outcome. When you're desperate, you think if you just say the right thing or send the right message, you can make her come back. But relationships aren't puzzles you can force together, push into pieces. They require alignment, timing, and mutual desire. The more you try to manipulate the outcome, the more you actually disrupt the natural flow. When you step back, you let life rearrange things in the best way possible. Sometimes that space allows her to miss you, to remember your value, to feel the difference between being with you and being without you. A practical way to detach is to redirect your focus. Instead of obsessing over what she's doing, invest your energy into yourself. Improve your health, your mindset, your finances, your social life. When you're busy growing, you have less time to sit in the energy of lack. You begin to feel accomplished, and that sense of self-progress naturally shifts your vibration. People can feel when you're living with purpose, and that includes her. She'll notice the difference without you having to tell her. Another part of detachment is emotional self-regulation. When you stop allowing your emotions to swing wildly based on her actions, you show stability. If she doesn't text back, you stay calm. If she posts something on social media, you don't spiral to overthinking. You remain centered. That steadiness is attractive because it communicates that you're in control of your own inner world. You're no longer trying to pull her back into your life from a place of weakness. You're allowing her to return from a place of strength. When you let go of desperation, you also allow space for authenticity. Desperation often makes people act in ways that aren't true to themselves. They overpromise, they pretend, they become overly agreeable just to keep the other person happy. But that's not sustainable, and deep down, she can sense it's not real. Detachment lets you show up as your authentic self, which is ultimately the most attractive you can offer. When you're comfortable in your own skin, when you're not bending over backward to be accepted, you stand out. Detachment also changes the energy dynamic between you and her. When you're desperate, the balance of power shifts entirely to her. She knows you'll do anything to get her back, and that can make her feel less urgency to reconnect. But when you detach, you reclaim balance. You're no longer chasing. You're living your life, and she has to step towards you if she wants to be a part of it. This doesn't mean playing games. It means genuinely building a fulfilling life with or without her. Ironically, that's often when she realizes she wants to be in it. And perhaps the most powerful thing about detachment is that it creates emotional freedom. You stop being tied to every little change in her behavior. You stop exhausting yourself by trying to predict her moves. You live lighter, more present, more control. And that's when you become the person she fell for in the first place, not the anxious, worried version of you that appeared when fear took over, but the confident, self-assured person who's attractive because they're whole. If you truly want her to come back, you have to understand the power of the mind and the role it plays in creating a reality. Everything that exists in your life right now began first as a thought, an image, a feeling in your mind. The same goes for the reality you want to create with her. You can't just sit around hoping she'll return. You have to deliberately hold that image of reunion in your mind so vividly, so consistently, that it becomes more real to you than your current situation. This isn't daydreaming. This is deliberate, focused visualization, infused with belief and emotion. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined when the image is clear and the feeling is strong. If you imagine her back in your life with detail, seeing her smile, hearing her laugh, feeling her presence, the emotional impact of that vision begins to shift your energy. That's important because your energy is the signal you send out to the world. The more you feel as if she's already back, the more you broadcast a frequency of wholeness and fulfillment, which is exactly the kind of energy that draws her in. The mistake most people make is focusing on the absence instead of the presence. They replay the breakup. They dwell on the pain. They imagine worst case scenarios. And every time they do that, they're reinforcing the very reality they don't want. Visualization flips that pattern. Instead of feeding the energy of loss, you're feeding the energy of reunion. You're training your mind to expect the outcome you desire, not the one you fear. And when your mind expects something with enough certainty, your actions, your emotions, and your body language all align to make it happen. When you visualize, you can't just see the picture. You have to feel it. If you're imagining sitting across from her at dinner, feel the warmth of that moment. Hear her voice in your mind. Notice the little details, the way she looks at you, the way you feel at peace in her presence. The more senses you involve, the more powerful the image becomes. This is what programs your subconscious mind. It's not about forcing her to come back. It's about becoming the person and creating the energy that makes that outcome natural. Some people think visualization is just wishful thinking, but it's far more than that. Athletes use it to win championships. Business leaders use it to close massive deals. Performers use it to master their craft. And in relationships, it works the same way because it prepares you mentally and emotionally for the reality you want. If you can't see it in your mind, you'll never believe it's possible in real life. And if you don't believe it's possible, your actions will always reflect doubt instead of confidence. The key is consistency. Visualizing once or twice won't change much. You have to make it a daily practice. Morning and night are the best times because your mind is in a more receptive state. Spend a few minutes seeing the life you want with her as if it's happening right now. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the love. The repetition will start to plant that vision deep in your subconscious. And that's when subtle changes start happening, not just in your energy, but in the way life responds to you. When you hold a clear image of her return, something else happens. You begin to naturally take actions that align with that vision. You might improve yourself, dress better, speak with more confidence, or handle situations with more patience. You're not forcing it. You're simply acting in harmony with the reality you believe is coming. That alignment between thought, feeling, and action is what makes this process so powerful. And remember, your vision has to be pure. If you're imagining her return, but also holding on to resentment, anger, or fear, you're sending mixed signals. You can't create a loving reunion while replaying old arguments in your mind. That's why part of this process is emotional cleansing. Letting go of past hurts so your mental image is clean and full of positive emotion. The clearer and more loving the vision, the stronger the pull it creates. Visualization also strengthens your patience. Instead of constantly checking for signs or obsessing over every move, you trust that what you've planted in your mind is already growing. You know that seeds don't sprout the moment you plant them. They need time, care, and the right conditions. The same is true here. Your job is to hold the image, feel it as real, and let life work out the timing. That trust keeps your energy calm and steady, which makes you even more magnetic. In time, this habit of seeing and feeling the reunion will reshape not only your emotions, but your entire sense of self. You'll stop feeling like someone who's trying to get her back and start feeling like someone who already has the relationship they want. That shift in identity is everything. Because you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And when you are in every thought and feeling, the person who already has her in their life, reality has no choice but to catch up. When you want her to come back, one of the most powerful things you can do is take this time apart and turn it into an opportunity for transformation. Instead of sitting in the energy of loss, you can choose to use this season to become the best version of yourself. Not for her, not to prove anything to anyone, but because your life deserves it. When you focus on your own growth, something incredible happens. Your confidence rises, your energy changes, and your presence becomes magnetic. People can feel when you've elevated yourself, and she will feel it too. Becoming the best version of yourself starts with self-awareness. You have to be willing to look at where you are right now, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and be honest about where you can improve. This isn't about beating yourself up or dwelling on mistakes. It's about taking responsibility for your life. Maybe there were things in the relationship that you could have handled better. Maybe you lost focus on your goals, your health, your sense of purpose. Now is the time to get those areas back in alignment. The stronger and more fulfilled you are as an individual, the more you have to offer in any relationship. Physically, this might mean taking care of the health in a way you haven't before. Exercise, eat well, sleep better. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because when you feel strong and healthy, your confidence naturally increases. That confidence changes how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you interact with others. And yes, she will notice that difference, whether she's in your life right now or watching from a distance. Mentally, becoming the best version of yourself means sharpening your mindset. Read more, learn new skills, surround yourself with positive influences. If your mind was once filled with doubt, fear, or negativity, this is your time to reprogram it. Focus on thoughts that empower you, that make you feel capable and worthy. A strong mindset not only makes you more attractive, it also helps you handle challenges in a calm, focused way, something that's incredibly appealing in a partner. Emotionally, this is your time to build resilience. Relationships test emotions, and if you can't manage your own feelings, You end up putting too much pressure on the other person to manage them for you. Work on being grounded, patient, and secure within yourself. This doesn't mean you shut off your emotions. It means you learn to process them in a healthy way so they don't control you. When you reach a place where you can feel deeply but still stay balanced, you bring a sense of stability to any connection you have. Spiritually, becoming the best version of yourself might mean reconnecting with a sense of purpose. Whether that's through meditation, prayer, reflection, or spending time in nature. You want to tap into something bigger than just your relationship. When you have a purpose beyond one person, you stop depending entirely on them for meaning. That's powerful because it creates a sense of freedom in the relationship. You're together because you want to be, not because you feel you have to be. As you grow in all these areas, something shifts in the way people respond to you. Opportunities start appearing. You find yourself attracting new friends, new experiences, even new career paths. And as your life expands, your value in her eyes grows too. Not because you're trying to win her back, but because you've genuinely elevated yourself. That growth is undeniable. The best part is, when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you stop waiting. You're no longer putting your life on pause for her return. You're living fully in the present, building something worth sharing with someone, whether that ends up being her or not. This mindset is magnetic because it removes that needy energy that pushes people away. Instead of saying, please come back so I can be happy, your energy says, I'm already living a great life and I'd love for you to be part of it. That's a powerful shift. You might also discover that as you grow, your vision of the relationship changes. Sometimes when we're in pain, we think the only solution is to get back what we lost. But when you evolve, you might realize you want something deeper, healthier, and more aligned with the person you're becoming. If she returns, you'll be meeting from a place of strength, not from a place of the past. And if she doesn't, you'll still be living at a level that draws the right people toward you. In the process of becoming the best version of yourself, you also inspire others. People notice when you've taken adversity and turned it into fuel. Your friends, your family, even strangers can sense when you've leveled up. That energy is contagious. It makes others want to be around you, to learn from you, to connect with you. And when she sees that you've transformed in a genuine way, without bitterness, without blame, she'll see you differently. She'll see the growth, the strength, the purpose, and she'll remember why she was drawn to you in the first place. If you want her to come back, you can't just sit around waiting and hoping. You have to start living in a way that aligns with the reality you want, not the one you fear. Every choice you make, every word you speak, every habit you form is either moving you closer to the future you desire or keeping you stuck in the past you're trying to escape. The law of life is that like attracts like. So if you want a loving, connected, and healthy relationship to return, you must become someone who already embodies that energy right now. Alignment is about harmony between your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. If you say you want her back, but you're acting in ways that contradict that, like sending angry messages, holding grudges, or neglecting your personal growth, you're sending mixed signals. Mixed signals confuse not only her, but also the energy you're putting out into the world. If you want the universe to deliver a certain outcome, you have to give it a clear, consistent message. That means showing up daily as the person who's already living the relationship you want to experience. This doesn't mean pretending or putting on an act. It means making real changes that bring your life into alignment with your desired outcome. If you want a relationship built on trust, then you need to be trustworthy now. If you want love and respect, you need to show love and respect in all areas of your life, not just toward her, but toward yourself, your friends, your family, even strangers. If you want warmth and connection, you need to live in a way that radiates warmth and connection wherever you go. When your actions align with your desired outcome, something shifts inside you. You stop waiting for circumstances to change before you start living differently. You take control of what you can control. Your effort, your attitude, your energy. That control builds confidence, and confidence is magnetic. People are drawn to those who live with purpose and clarity, and she will be drawn to that too. You also have to be mindful of your language. Both the words you speak out loud and the words you say to yourself in your mind. Words are powerful. They carry energy and shape your reality. If you're constantly saying things like, she's never coming back, or I'm not good enough, you're reinforcing the very reality you don't want. Instead, speak in alignment with the reality you're creating. Say things like, I'm becoming the best version of myself. I'm ready for love to flow into my life. Or the right timing is working in my favor. This isn't blind optimism. It's training your mind to stay focused on the direction you want to go. Another part of aligning your actions with your desired outcome is the way you carry yourself. If you want her to see you as someone she wants to be around again, then live as that person now. Dress in a way that makes you feel confident. Maintain good posture. Keep yourself well groomed. Move with intention. All these subtle details send signals, not just to her, but to everyone who interacts with you. The energy you project through your body language is often louder than the words you speak. Social alignment matters too. The people you spend your time with influence your mindset, your habits, and your emotional state. If you're around negative, bitter, or resentful people, that energy rubs off on you. But if you're around positive, motivated, and growth-minded people, That energy lifts you up and keeps you moving toward your goal. Surround yourself with people who embody the kind of life you want to live. That environment will keep your actions in line with your vision. And perhaps one of the most important aspects of alignment is consistency. You can't live in alignment for a week and then go back to old habits when you get impatient. You have to keep showing up as the person you want to be, even on the days you don't see immediate results. Think of it like planting a seed. You can't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you give it sunlight, you trust the process. In the same way, your aligned actions are planting seeds in her mind and in your own subconscious. Over time, those seeds grow into the reality you've been working toward. When you live in alignment with the reality you want, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop trying to force outcomes and start embodying them. Your life becomes a reflection of the love, respect, and connection you want to experience. And that reflection draws the right people and the right opportunities into your world naturally. You don't have to convince her with words because your life is already proof of who you've become. And when she sees that you're not just talking about change, but actually living it, that's when her perspective begins to shift. When you've done the inner work, shifted your energy, detached from desperation, visualize the outcome, grown into the best version of yourself, and aligned your actions with your desired reality, the final piece is trust. Trust in the timing, trust in the process, and trusting that what's meant for you will not pass you by. This is where so many people lose their way. They get impatient. They start wondering why it hasn't happened yet. They try to rush the process, force conversations, or demand answers before the time is right. But life doesn't operate on your clock. It operates on the right clock. Everything has its own perfect season, and love is no different. Trusting the timing means you let go of the need to control every step. You stop obsessing over how and when she'll come back, and instead you focus on continuing to live in alignment with your vision. You understand that sometimes things have to fall into place that you can't see. Maybe she has lessons to learn before she's ready. Maybe you have growth left to do. Maybe there are outside circumstances that need to shift so that when you reconnect, the foundation is stronger than it was before. When you trust the timing, you give space for those unseen factors to work themselves out without interference. The truth is, impatience is just another form of doubt. When you're impatient, you're essentially saying, I don't believe this is working, so I have to push it. That energy of doubt weakens the attraction you've been building. On the other hand, patience communicates faith. It says, I know it's already done. I'm just waiting for the moment it shows up. That calm, steady confidence is magnetic because it's rare. Most people operate from fear and urgency. So when you operate from trust, you stand out. Trust also requires letting go of attachment to the exact path the reunion will take. You might think it has to happen a certain way, through a certain conversation, at a certain time, but often the universe has a better plan, one you wouldn't have thought of on your own. When you're too rigid about how it should happen, you close yourself off to opportunity that could bring her back in ways you never expected. Staying open allows you to see possibilities you might have missed if you were only looking for one specific route. Another important part of trusting the process is continuing to live fully while you wait. Too many people put their lives on hold thinking, once she's back, then I'll be happy, then I'll travel, then I'll start that project. But living in limbo sends the wrong message to yourself, to her, and to life itself. When you keep moving forward, keep building, keep enjoying your life, you maintain momentum. That momentum keeps your energy attractive, which is what increases the chances of her returning. You also have to remember that trust is built on gratitude. Gratitude keeps you focused on what's going right instead of what's missing. When you wake up each day and appreciate the progress you've made, the lessons you've learned, and the life you're building, you keep yourself in a high vibration. That high vibration makes it easier to trust because you're not obsessing over what you don't have. You're recognizing that you're already on the path to what you want. Trusting the universal timing doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you take inspired action when opportunities present themselves, but you don't force action when the timing isn't right. You listen to your intuition. You stay aware and you respond naturally to situations instead of manufacturing them out of fear. This keeps the connection authentic instead of forced, which is crucial for lasting reconnection. Sometimes trust means enduring the silence without falling apart. There will be days when you hear nothing from her, when it feels like nothing is moving. Those are the days that test your belief the most. If you can hold your vision steady even in those moments, you're proving to yourself and to life that you're ready for the outcome you want. Anyone can have faith when things are going their way. It's holding faith when they aren't that shows real strength. And here's the thing, when you truly trust, your energy changes. You stop giving off that subtle tension, that quiet desperation that says, please hurry up. You become relaxed, grounded, and centered. That's the energy people want to be around. It's inviting, it's safe, it's attractive. She will notice that shift even if she can't explain why it feels different. Trust is the bridge between the work you've done and the results you want. Without it, you're constantly digging up the seeds you've planted, wondering why they aren't growing. With it, you water them, give them sunlight, and let nature take its course. You don't question whether they'll sprout. You know they will, because you've done your part. And when you live in that kind of trust, the right things have a way of showing up at the right time, in the right way, without you having to chase them.